Good day, everyone. My name is Hope. I'm here to share some of the lessons I learned from Mass Indoctrination Day 14. And there we looked at baptism. Now, baptism is the washing away of us, the washing away of the sin. It's a practice and a doctrine that God encourage every believer, every true believer to go through. He said, what must I do in the Bible to be saved? He said he was telling Nicodemus that he should go and should be born again, should be washed by the Holy Spirit. There Jesus Christ was talking to Nicodemus that met him in the night in the Bible. And so from the book of Titus chapter 3 verse 15, it said baptism is the washing away of our sin. Baptism means change, taking a new leaf. Baptism is for the remission of sins. Now, baptism is what a believer must go through. It's a doctrine that we have to keep as a Christian. Now, there are so many places people do baptism in different places, and from the study of the 14 Mass Indoctrination, we looked at where should be baptized, and the preacher took the book of Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 23, which says all the commandments must be done in the house of God. And in Romans chapter 3 verse 19, the obedience to all the law should be done in the house of God. And now, what is the house of God referred to in the Bible? And that is in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 15. The house of God is the church. The house of God is the church of God. And that is where we should obey the law of baptism. Also in the book of Ephesians chapter 3 verse 14, there we're looking at the preacher was telling us that the household of God is the church of God, where the name of the Lord is, where the name of the Lord dwelleth in. And the house of God in those days was formerly built by Solomon, but that was destroyed by the Romans. But now the baptism should be done in the house of God, where the name of the living God is. That is where baptism should be done. But also in the course of the study, the preacher was proving that the household of God is in the church, and we looked at the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 13, where the baptism should be done in one body. There in that scripture was talking about baptism should be done in one body, and which is the church, where Christ is the head. The body is the church of God, where Christ is the head. Baptism should be done in one body and in one spirit. Now, remember in our previous study, we learned that the church is not the building. The church is not referred to a handmade building or a roof covered building. The church is referring to the members, and the members of the church. The church is referring to we, and that makes that in that way Christ is our head. So baptism should be done in the church, which has one spirit and one body, where Christ is the head. Baptism is an act of faith, and so on and so forth. We learned on baptism. We learned so much on baptism. I got to know that baptism is to be done in the church and no other place, not in the sea like my church. Sometimes they take you to the sea, they take you to so many places to go and do baptism. But from today's study, I got to know that baptism is meant to be done in the church. So I would like to use the opportunity to invite you once again to follow us on today being the last day and the continuation of baptism. And God bless you so much. Thank you so much for listening.